Stephanie Scott was a teacher who loved her job and her students. She was also a bride-to-be who was looking forward to her wedding day. But as she went to the school to finish some work on a quiet Easter Sunday, she crossed paths with a man who had been secretly obsessed with her for months. A man who had a twisted plan to end her life and his own. Welcome back to another episode. This is the case of Stephanie Scott. Today, we explore a shocking and heartbreaking case that rocked a small town in Australia and sparked a nationwide campaign against violence against women. Stephanie Scott was born on May 14, 1988, in Canowindra, New South Wales, Australia. She grew up in a close-knit family with her parents Robert and Marilyn and her three siblings Kim, Robin, and Adam. She attended Canowindra High School and graduated in 2005. She was a bright and popular student who excelled in academics, sports, and music. She studied education at Charles Sturt University in Wagga Wagga and graduated with honors in 2009. She was passionate about teaching and learning. There she met her fiancé, Aaron Leeson Woolley, at university, and they fell in love. They got engaged in 2013 and planned to get married on April 11, 2015, in Eugowra, New South Wales. She moved to Leeton, New South Wales, in 2014 and started working as an English and drama teacher at Leeton High School. She was well liked and respected by her colleagues and students. She was known for her enthusiasm, creativity, and kindness. Stephanie Scott was planning to get married in April 2015. Now let's talk a bit about Vincent Stanford. Vincent Stanford was born in Australia in 1991, but moved to the Netherlands with his parents and two brothers when he was 3 years old. His father left the family soon after and had no contact with them. He had a history of violent and murderous thoughts since he was a child. He was expelled from a school in the Netherlands for choking a teacher when he was 12 years old. He said he always wanted to kill someone and felt no emotion or remorse. He returned to Australia in 2014 and settled in Leeton, where he worked as a cleaner at the high school. He stalked and photographed women in the town, including Stephanie Scott, and kept notes on their movements and routines. On Easter Sunday, April 5, 2015, Stephanie went to the school to prepare some lessons for her students before taking leave for her wedding and honeymoon. Since it was Easter Sunday, the school was quiet, the hallways empty, as she carefully attended to the details that would make her big day even more special. She had plans to join her family for Easter dinner later that afternoon. Little that we know, it was the last time anyone would see her alive. Stephanie Scott was reported missing by her family when she failed to return home after 24 hours. The once peaceful town banded together, launching a search party that scoured every corner for a trace of her. Days went by, and as hope dimmed, the town's unity remained unbreakable. Social media campaigns reached far and wide, while news outlets cast a spotlight on the town's plight. Numerous individuals provided tips to the police, and several were brought in for questioning, including Vincent Stanford. During questioning, he was asked about his whereabouts on the day of the disappearance. In response, Stanford claimed to have gone to the grocery store. However, upon investigating his statement, the police discovered that his alibi lacked substance, as their inquiry revealed that the grocery store remained closed every Sunday. The police proceeded with their investigations and visited Vincent's residence, where they uncovered a collection of items he had labeled as a rape kit. This assortment included plastic handcuffs, a knife bearing bloodstains, Viagra, and condoms. The turning point came when the police requested to examine pictures on his mobile phone. Initially, he changed his story, claiming to have gone for a photo shoot on the day of Stephanie's disappearance. Among the photos, the police discovered images depicting a burnt individual, leading them to suspect a potential connection to Stephanie's case. With this alarming discovery, the police promptly arrested him and brought him in for intensive interrogation. Stephanie's car was found abandoned near the national park on April 10, 2015. The police soon discovered that Vincent Stanford DNA was found on Stephanie's car. During the interrogation, and after accumulating a substantial amount of evidence against him, he confessed to his involvement in Stephanie's crime. On the day of the incident, the pair bumped into each other, and Stephanie wished him a happy Easter, but as she tried to open the metal gate at the school's entrance, Stanford grabbed her and pulled her into a storeroom, threw her on the ground, and locked the door. Stanford told police he sexually assaulted her, punched her unconscious, and then stabbed her in the neck with a knife to make sure she was dead. Vincent then returned home to have some sandwiches before heading back to the school to clean up. Subsequently, he placed Stephanie's body in the trunk of her car and drove it to his residence. There, he parked her red Mazda 3 with her body in the trunk, behind a shed in his backyard where it remained overnight. In the early hours of Easter Monday, he drove her car to Cocoparra National Park, which is approximately 70 kilometers northeast of Leeton, near Griffith. There, he removed her body, placed branches over her, and set her remains alight. Shockingly, he took pictures of her burnt remains. He kept Stephanie's bra as a twisted souvenir, along with some of her other belongings, including her driver's license, school keys, and even her engagement ring. Shockingly, he mailed these items to his twin brother, Marcus Stanford, who lived in South Australia. He confessed to the murder in a police interview and led them to the location of her burnt remains. He pleaded guilty and showed no signs of remorse or empathy. He said he killed her because he had to do it and couldn't stop himself. On July 20, 2016, Vincent Stanford entered guilty pleas to aggravated sexual assault and murder. On October 13, 2016, in the Supreme Court of NSW, Stanford was sentenced by Justice Robert Halmy to 15 years jail with a no non-parole period for aggravated sexual assault and life imprisonment for murder. His twin brother, Marcus, also pleaded guilty to being an accessory after the fact to murder for selling Stephanie's engagement ring at a pawn shop. He was sentenced to 15 months in jail in September 2016. Stephanie Scott's family sued the NSW Education Department and the cleaning company that employed Vincent Stanford for negligence and breach of duty of care. They claimed that the school failed to conduct proper background checks and supervision of its staff, and that Vincent Stanford posed a foreseeable risk to Stephanie and other staff and students. They reached a confidential settlement with the defendants in May 2021. The family's lawyers said that they hoped that the case would lead to more stringent screening procedures for employees who work at public institutions, such as schools. Stephanie Scott's murder shocked and saddened the community of Leeton and the whole nation. She was remembered as a bright, kind, and dedicated teacher who loved her students, and her fiancé. Her family and friends described her as a beautiful person who brought joy to everyone around her. Her death also sparked a campaign called #PutYourDressOut, where people hung their wedding dresses outside their homes or posted photos of them online as a tribute to Stephanie and a symbol of solidarity against violence and against women. That's all for today. Thank you for watching.